Well going everybody. So today we're going to be making a Jamaica app. So from to talk about the history and the culture. So let's get to it. So the first thing we have to do is go to Xcode right here and then click create a new project. Make sure you pick iOS since we'll make an iPhone app, and then click app right here and then hit next. And then here, I'll just call it Jamaica History. So Jamaica History there. And then hit next. And then I'll also create a Git repository. If you're not sure what a Git repository is, no worries. Just hit create. All right. And now basically we have Xcode open. So let's just maximize this. All right. And what we're gonna do is, so you see all of this code here. If you don't know this, no worries. What we're gonna do is use AI to make the app for you. Like it's gonna actually write the code that we need. So you can kind of just go over here and click on the star. And this is basically like the AI coding assistant section. The one thing though, this might not show right away. So just go over here back and then come over. So right now, all we're going to do is basically just type what we want the app to be like inside here as prompts, and then it's going to make it for you. So what we can do is, let's just hide that section here on the screen, right? And then we can just drag this even over to, since we don't really care about the code section, and we're going to start typing. So the first thing is we want to make a Jamaica app, right? I want to talk about culture and history. So let's just write that. So create a iPhone app or iOS app that is about Jamaica and its culture and history. Right? And then just hit enter. So just with just that basic prompt there, the AI will be Claude, I gotta start below the app. So you might see it ask for some permissions because it's gonna like start create things. So it's gonna ask you permission before it puts something on your desktop or in any folder. Alright, so right now it's a think like it's gonna start create everything we want. So you see the first thing it kinda tell what to do. It's a user wants to create an iPhone app about Jamaican culture. And then it started some research and I'll check what we have so far so before it made the app. Alright, so the next thing it says is reading the files. And remember, we don't really have nothing in them files yet. So it just say, oh, you don't really have nothing, but I'm gonna start make this from scratch. So now it's a thinking. Now I have a clear picture of the existing project. It's a basic Swift UI. Yeah. So just like I'm saying, it just realized that yo, you don't really do nothing yet. So it's gonna start build out the app what we need. So let's see what it look like. And these are some of the ideas what I think. So it say I think about have a home screen, it I think about have a history timeline, a culture section, a famous Jamaican section, and a geography section. So let's see what it look like. So as the AI do things, we can watch it and see what it will do. So right here. So before it do anything, it kind of like, think and say like, yo, this is what you need, this is what you're gonna need, this is what you're not gonna need. Yeah, just start build. You like make a plan first, isn't it? Alright, so right now it say, alright, so you even see it right here. It's saying, I'll build a full Jamaican history and culture app with 5 tabs: home, history, culture, people, and geography. And it say writing all files now. So that whole thing we did do before was just thinking it and make a plan, and now it gonna start do the work. So make we do a thing and see what it do. Alright, so now it start write some code. You can see the first file we make right now is something called a models file. And honestly, if you're not sure what that is, it's alright. But what we can do is look on the code, right? So you see all of this over here, so a code where the AI write. We never write none of that code here, because you see me there write this as well. So it write all of them code here. Alright. So let's just get that over. And then the next thing we do is write something called shared components. Alright, so if you're not really sure what them terms mean, nowhere right now. One more you focus on is that the AI is making the app. I'm gonna show you how you can do this stuff. But I just break it down for you a little bit. So the home screen, the home view are basically the first screen you'll basically see when you go into the app. I need to write the code for that. If you want to look what the code will look like, we just click on yes, and then it will show up on the side. And all of this are your home screen code. If you don't know, again, if you don't know what this means, no worries. Because the AI write it for you, and we're going to see what it do and how it look after. And then if we want any changes, we can make them after too. And then you see, make a history view, you make a culture view, and you make a people view. I need to write this kind of fast, yo. Because honestly, all of the work here would have definitely take somebody maybe a couple days or, a lot more time. So it'll do it thing. And now it'll make the geography view. So that'll be the screen about the geography and all of that. Alright. And now you see it right here, so it'll check for any errors. So it'll say, yo, I'm gonna make it. Let me see if everything will work fine. And say, all right. And then you do the build project. So building is like, it'll go try and make sure, say, yo, can this open up and like people can use it? And it work, it's successful. And then after that, you get a summary. So the summary is, it makes a 5-tab Jamaica history and culture view. The first tab are gonna be about home. Next one, history, culture, people map. Now, I really just want to see what the app look like. So what I'm going to do is just go over here and click the run button or play button and just click this. And then I'm going to minimize this a little bit so that we can see it in the simulator. Now, a simulator is just a fake iPhone on your computer. That's all it is. So you can test out the app. So eventually what you're going to see is like a little phone thing come up on your screen and you're going to use that. All right. So now we'll see it right here. And this is our simulator. Because remember again, a simulator is just a fake iPhone when I just run on your computer. And it's gonna have all of the code where the AI just make for you, right? Alright, so now this is the app where it make. So it make an app, remember it have a home screen, a home tab, a history tab, a culture tab, a people tab, and even a map tab. So make we look through each of the tab them and see what we want to keep from what we want to get rid of or change. So the first thing it says is out of many one people. And it have that Jamaica thing at the top. It's like it a try and make the flag, but it look alright. I said Jamaica is a jewel of the Caribbean, a small island with an outsized influence on the world. From the rhythms of reggae to the speed of its sprinters, from the flavors of jerk chicken. Alright, so you just like give you an intro. And they tell you like, at glance, Kingston is the capital, Independence, the population, Caribbean Sea, 14 parishes, blah, blah. And then you have a part right here, so we'll say, explore history. So I'm going to click on this. So when we click on this, nothing happen. I don't know about you, but like, when we see something like this, especially with the arrow, we don't want something to happen. So what we can do is tell the AI, say, yo, when we click on this, we're supposed to see a screen will tell us more about the history, or more about the culture, or more about famous Jamaicans, or the geography, right? So that's one thing we're gonna make a note of. So what we're gonna do, simple, is just go back over to Xcode, right? I remember the part I named the explore section in home. So we'll go over here to Xcode. And literally all I'm gonna do is just go to it right here and just say that. I say, yo, in the home tab, the explore section doesn't do anything when I click the cards. Right? I'm gonna say instead, I want to show a sheet with some more info on each of these. All right, so I say, yo, whenever them click on any of them, I want to be able to see like something pop up and give like more information. All right, so let's have it do that in the background. So we'll just say enter. And then it'll go and work on that. You see, it'll say it's thinking first. So before it do anything, it kind of like look through it and be like, yo, what the most sensible thing for do? Just start do things. All right, so while it do that, right, let's go back over here and we'll look on the history tab. So this is a history tab where we make, and it's a talk about the history of Jamaica. And it look like it start off with, you don't know the Taínos are the real inhabitants, but it's the red wear people around the earliest inhabitants. I didn't even know about these people. Followed by the Taínos. So I guess they must say the red wear people first come on yard. And then the Thanos or Arawaks then come, because Thanos or Arawaks me learn about at school. And then, Columbus, etc. Alright, so more like this. Then there's a treaty of this. Okay, I kind of like this, but the only thing is that my would rather is like when I click on it, like would rather see like I go to a different screen so I can read all of the information, yeah, instead of just a look on just this. So we can tell it do that after. So let's just go to Xcode. Let's see if it fixed the first problem. So it's still a work on that. So I could go on back over here, so to the simulator. And so what we're gonna do is make it that, like we say, every time them click on this, like instead of it just a drop down and show a little bit, we want to make it that it go to a different screen so we can read more information, right? I want to get more info. So this is the next, so that's the one thing we're going to ask is for change for the history tab. And we kind of wish the history right here was like smaller, kind of at the top. Oh, you see how it just kind of cancel out? What just happened is if we go back to Xcode, you'll see that basically this right here. So this is doing, so remember we tell it to fix that previous problem there, where it's just like whenever you click on the Explorer section and not really see nothing, it tests it and like so they have to run the simulator to test it. So that's why we kind of get pushed out. So let's just give this some time and make it just fix the first issue we asked, and then we can jump back in the simulator and just change up all of that. All right. So now you see it as a build project, and you see build succeeded. So the simulator it just run to make sure, so yo, everything when we change, can this still really work in the app? And you see now it's it done, it's a builds cleanly. Each Explorer card now opens a sheet when tapped. All right, now let's just run this. And then we'll see the new version now simulator. So let's just scroll down. And then in the Explorer tab, we're supposed to be able to click this and see something. So we'll click it, boom. You see? We'll see more information. So this one may I look for. Now, if you want to think about something else for the tab here, remember knowing in the comments and we can add that in. But let's check the culture one. Same thing with the culture. We'll see more information about it. Jamaican culture is one of the most influential on earth. True. Music, rocksteady, reggae, dancehall. Alright, cool. And then famous Jamaicans. Just want to make sure so every one of them here work. Good. You don't know Marcus Garvey, the boss, but Usain Bolt, the boss. And then geography. Alright, all of them are sure. Cool. Alright, so now we'll go over to the history tab, right? So what would I say over here? So whenever we click on any of them here, we want to make it that instead of it just a drop down as a menu, we want to be able to see like a whole different screen so we can see everything in a more detail. Right? And so that's the only thing we want to change here. And then we want to make the history more at the top, not this big history thing here. And then we'll go over culture. Culture, I'm not gonna lie, the culture screen kind of boring. So it says Jamaica is the birthplace of some of the most world, blah blah blah. It tells the info about each of the music. It can drop down. Yeah, I don't feel like culture do much for me. Like it kind of feel boring. What I feel like we could have add like some animations and maybe a better way how it look. All right, and then for people. So if you focus on some famous Jamaicans, so let's see what I'm doing when we click on Bob. We'll get some information here. We don't know if we need to show the tab button right here though. Alright, so let's do this one by one so we can see the changes. So the first change is in the history tab, whenever we click on any of them here, we want to open up a whole different screen so we can read the info better. So let's go over here. And all I'm gonna do is just write, I'm gonna put like a dash so I can make each point when I'm gonna ask it for the easy feed, see? So I'm gonna say, but you don't have to do that. Like that AI is so smart, Claude AI, it will just pick up. So right now what I'm gonna do is just like in the history tab, when I click on a card, it should open a different screen or sheet with more info on the topic, right? And then what else? Oh yeah, I never like that history thing. I don't like how big the history thing is. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna see if it do it in that other tab them too. So I like how it's small at the top right there. So culture. All right. So now I'm gonna make another point. I'm gonna say in the history tab, so this up here is like a title. It's really called the navigation title. So I'll say the navigation title should be dot inline display mode. So the reason why I say it that way there is because I know how the code actually, right? You could have just write, yo, I want the title to be smaller, and that would have worked too. But I know how the code kind of works, I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna just press enter, and now whenever it's done, what you're gonna do is maximize this. I'll make it bigger. Is that basically it will basically make all them changes to the history tab, and then when you make the changes, it will try and run the app to make sure it's everything good. So instead of just so let's and then after it's done with that, I'm gonna ask it to make some changes on the culture tab. I don't like how the culture tab look. I feel like this kind of boring. I feel like we need some animations. I feel like we need just some more vibes in that tab here. So we'll give it some time. I'll make it run. I'll maximize this again, and we'll check it out. All right. So now it make all the changes, and just like we said before, it'll build the project. So it make sure say, yo, the app can actually work before it say, yo, all right, yo, take it and test it out. It check for the errors basically. So now it's done, and it's describe what it do. If you want to read this, you can pause and read it. I just want to see what the app look like. So I'm gonna go click the play button here, and then it'll run the simulator. All right. So now the simulator is running. If we go over to the history tab, I will click on this. Now we'll see a sheet. I kind of like how this look more. So instead of a little something there, we kind of like click on it and we'll see more, way more info. And also, if you don't know who are the red wear people, let me know in the comments, because at school, honestly, I only ever hear about Arawaks. But it seems like this, I said, the red wear people among the earliest known inhabitants settled in Jamaica, and they were followed by the Arawaks. So them people that come before the Arawaks. So check it out and let me know. And then if you click next, I guess you can switch to the next thing, and the next thing. Okay, I kind of like the experience a better. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you notice, the history tab up here, so what we asked about is smaller. So that's the inline thing I was talking about. And we can, okay. So I like how the history tab kind of look right now. At least for version 1. And then, yeah, I like that. So now I could go over to the culture tab. As I said, that part is just too boring. I'm gonna like so the culture thing, right? It's just so big. I'm gonna rather a smaller title. So let's see if we can just ask the AI to improve how the UI looks. Now UI is just how an app looks, like the look of it. So let's go over back to Xcode. And then I'll say I'm gonna put a dash in the culture tab. The UI is too boring. You cannot start it regular, as I say. Make it better with a better UI and UX. UX is like the flow, like when you go from one screen to the next, or how everything just a flow together. Better UI and UX. I must say also add animations. So instead of everything just stiff, so it will kind of move a little bit. You might say a little bit thing. All right, what else? Oh yeah, also want a smaller title. Also the title or the navigation title. I use the correct word because I'm wanting to get used to it. I use the navigation title should be in inline display. Inline display mode. So that's how you get the smaller title. That's the correct terminology. You could just say, yo, I want a small title, but I want to know if I really talk to it. Because then the AI have to do less work, and it just do work what I want to do right away. All right, so you see it again, it's thinking, and then it's going to start work on that. Instead of just sitting and wait on that, let's go over to our app again. And we were in culture, so let's see what it do for people. For people, I don't know what one think. Like it have everybody. Let me see what it have. Bob, Toots Hibbert. I don't know Toots Hibbert. Sorry people, I'm not disrespect nobody, I just don't know that person, yeah? But big up, if I the father of reggae. Yeah, but I say Baba's the father of reggae, or king of reggae. Oh, my Baba Pesa too. I don't know. Yeah, Bolt, yeah, Shelly and Fraser Price, big up. Marcus Garvey, the boss. Let's see what I'm saying about Garvey. Brian say, man. Okay. Alexander Bustamante, da 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 da. I guess when it comes to famous Jamaicans, more than definitely, like them have some of the national heroes, but not all of them. We could have it add those too. And you already know, me not like them big title, yeah. So I'll pick a smaller title and probably make the UI look a little bit better, make it pop more, you see me? Add some animations over here too. So, and then what next tab? Map. Boy, I don't know if we really need that tab here, because this just a show me Jamaica is the third largest island in the Caribbean, blah, blah, blah. Too much word. I don't know if we really need that tab here. Or maybe we could have changed up how this look. And talk about the parishes. Each parish. Alright, so I'll change up how the map section look. But let's just see what the AI deal with. So now it will redesign the culture tab. Let's see. Alright, so it finished. It built the project. So let's see what it look like. Let's just hit the play button and run it. And now, remember what I look on culture? So this is the new culture tab. I feel like this have more of a vibes. It's less boring to me. So if I click on music, the detail screen kind of the same. I don't know if we need to show the tab view here. Like them thing, I don't know. I'd rather just when I click on something like in that section, I don't want to see the tab view. I don't want to see that. Alright, so let's hide this whenever we're in the detail screen. So the detail screen would be like any screen, like say if we did in a tab, I will click on something in there and then it bring me to our next screen. That next screen there, I will call the detail screen. So we don't want to see the tab view when we're in the culture detail screen. So let's just again go to Xcode. So this is how you build apps nowadays. So it's like you work on it, you change the piece, you see what I want, you like, you change. Alright, so in the culture tab, don't show the tab bar in the detail screens. Just like that. That's the only thing my access for do right there for now. Exactly. So now it build the project, make sure it's the way change work, and now we can just hit play again. And now if we go to culture, and then we'll click on any of them, yeah. Cause remember the detail screen or the screen when you go to after you click on something in the tab. So you click on this, you'll see when I see the detail screen no more. Now, when you take a look on this, I want to tell me what you think in the comments if there's anything you want to change. But still feel like we could add some more vibes to this. I don't know. Ska, rocksteady, reggae, dancehall, love dancehall. Big up vibes, cartel, the boss. And then go back. Same thing for sports. Okay, cool. So we're not see the detail right that's alright anymore. But if you notice, there is a bug. So right now, remember, so we tell it to just get rid of the tab bar on the detail screen. It looked like it also got rid of the tab bar on that screen. So now we can't get out of the screen. So this is what we call a bug. So to fix this, just go to Xcode and just tell it like, just talk it straight. Just be like, yo, I only wanted the tab bar to be hidden on the detail screens for the culture tab, but still show on the main culture tab screen, right? So let's see wait though. So this I to think, And if you want, you can read this, just pause and read it, but it kind of go through it mental process and then give like a quick summary. It says the tab bar isn't restoring on the main screen because the hidden state from the detail bleeds into the root. So basically it say because we hide it on the detail screens, it kind of affect the main one. And now it build the project. Let's see if it fixes. And then we'll go over to culture, click on one of this, and when we click on it, we're not see the tab bar, but we better see the tab bar than when we'll go back. And we'll see it. Cool. I look at delay though, but we'll see it. So we can kind of work with that. So now let's look on the people tab. And as I said, I don't really like the people tab. I feel like it's too boring. So let's have it improve the UI. Because remember, UI just means user interface, like how the app looks. And we want to add some animations here. So let's go to Xcode again. I will say in the people tab, make it that the UI looks way better and has animations too, and a better UX. UX again, the flow, how everything flow from one part of the app to one part of the app in one screen to the next screen. I hit enter and let's see what it do. You see it a thing, it work on that. And while it work on that, instead of we have waste time just to sit down, we'll go to simulator again and we'll go look on the map tab. And as I said, I don't really like that tab here. I feel like it's kind of boring. And it's like a long screen, like it's like so many sections. So there's a notable regions, there is a key facts section, there's an overview section, and then there's a 14 parishes section. If we click show all, we see all of them. So what we can do though, if we really want to keep that screen here, and you tell me in the comments, should we keep this or change this up? What I do is add like a picker. So because there's so many sections, I make it that the screen is terribly long and not everybody are gonna scroll all the way down, right? So what we could do is make it that the person can click on each part and see the section what I'm concerned about. So let's have it do that in the next one. So for now, let's go over to Xcode. All right, so make a plan. I know it will say it will fully redesign the people tab. All right, and you see literally just write the code here while they are sit down. Them little glowing parts are the part with the AI, right? And now you see it's a build project. Again, build project, I went to run the thing to make sure everything will work, none of errors. And then you will look at summary. You can pause the video and read a summary. For now, I'm just hit run. And then go over to the people tab. And now we have a better UI. I feel like this UI looks way better. What other thing? Tell me in the comments. You prefer that UI for the people tabs or you prefer something else? You did think something else. The only thing I'm gonna like is that it have a limited amount of people. So we definitely can have it add more people in your so cause you have a whole heap of famous yardies. You know what I mean? Alright, so that okay for now. Let's go over to the map. So the thing I'm saying on the map, I do not like this huge title thing. It can become smaller though. Alright, I'm gonna really like that piece. This is boring. When I rather have like a map focused on Jamaica. Yeah. And then more like a different section for like overview, key facts. And then more make it that when you click on the key facts, you see some information. It's like a sheet come up. And then same thing, more information. So things are more. I want a smaller navigation title. I don't want a card something, yeah, that's stuck so blue. I want it to be a map. And then for them, each different section, like overview, key facts, notable regions and landmark, 14 part, I want them be in different sections. So the user can click. Cause nobody now gonna scroll all the way go down here, so let's go back to Xcode and tell it what we want. So the first thing, in the geography tab, make it that the navigation title is inline display mode, remember? And then make it the different sections in the geography tab use a picker. So a picker, you're gonna make it that you can switch between them. If you don't know what that is, once I show you, and I'll be like, oh, that's your talk. Watch. Picker, I'm gonna say segmented style. Or about the segmented, just know say it's a picker I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna see what I mean. And then also, what else we want to change? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna like that blue some here. So instead of the blue card here, let's have it use a map focused on Jamaica. Instead of the blue card at the in the geography tab, not even gonna stress that. It'll still pick up even though I spell that wrong. Tab, instead of the blue, have it be a map focused on Jamaica instead, right? So 3 things. All right, let's see what it do with this. Hit enter and see what it do. Again, people, don't make that coding part you frighten you. I don't want it frighten you, so I'm gonna drag it over. I don't want it to frighten you upon that. Just focus on how you tell the AI to make for you. And this side plan right here, if you want, you can pause the screen and pause the video and just read it. So right now, I'm just do some research to figure out how it can show like Jamaica upon like the map, the focus. So it'll kind of look like the Maps app where you use my iPhone, but now go see what I mean. Alright, so look at it, rewrite it. And you see it's a build failed a while ago? That's basically it a try build the project. Remember, it always tests whatever it do. And you see it get an error. So now it gonna look and see what the error we need to fix. And look like it's there. This are the issue. So it'll change it and it'll fix what it have. So it'll do what you ask, and then if you find a problem, it'll try and fix it. It's not gonna just be like, yo, I don't know what to do. And you see, run it again. We build the project and then it work. So let's run this and see what that tab here look like. So let's go over to map. And now, you see like what I say? Now we see something like focus on Jamaica. I like this. And now you see these are the picker thing what I tell about. So you see? You can switch between the different parts so you want to look on. And much better, much prefer how this look versus how it looked before. Alright. Okay. The only thing is that like when we click on any of them facts here, would I think say you would see like a sheet or get pushed over to somewhere where we can read more info about them. So I'm gonna tell it to do that. And then for places. Okay, we see this. Kinda like this, I'm not really mind that. And then we have the parish is a yard. Again, what I like is that like when I click on this, I see more information about the parish. So 2 things. You know, the facts, I want to make it that when I click on any fact, I see more information in a sheet, and then the parishes, when I click on any parish, I see more information about the parish there. So let's go over to Xcode. And when I go to boom, I'm say in the geography tab, when I click on a fact, I want to see a sheet with more info on that fact. Yeah. And then the other one was when I click on a parish, I want to see a sheet with more info on that parish. So literally I write all of the changes move axis for do. So give it a little bit, you know. And again, feel free to pause the video so you can see what the AI is doing. Cause it explain everything when it do to it. You know, just do it. Just say, yo, me I do this, me I do this, me I do that. I'm not showing you the code, how some of the facts them going to write. So these are some of the facts. So this is how you look on it in a code. So this if you don't know coding, no worry. Just know say the thing that when you see also are where you gonna see in the app when you make. So you see it just say Christopher Columbus, blah blah. I'm not even want to talk about him. This is the first inhabitants, all of this. I remember we see some of this in the app earlier. So yeah, a code. Code is actually written to make it. So I'm gonna talk about data code, mean like programming code. You see me? Alright, so geographic view. Alright, so now it's to build the project. And you say build succeeded, so test everything we do before it make it. And now what we can do is just hit play here. And let's see what the geography tab look like. Alright, so this is still the same. I would say for facts, right? So if I click on this, now we'll see like a sheet, we're showing more information. Way better prefer the experience, yo. You see more information about what the topic is, all of that. And I think it was parishes, right? So if we click on any parish, now we'll see a sheet with more information about the parish. Alright, so I like how this looks. Alright. Now, honestly, people, my plan for drop this in the app store. So if you not look on the app, I'm gonna be like, yo, no man, you need to add this in, you need me to change this. Add it in the comments, I'm gonna add that in before we submit to the app store. I'm gonna show you the whole flow there, how you get the app, like you build it yourself, and then you submit it to the app store, and then you get it actually in the app store. So again, yeah, that was app I worked on today, Jamaica History app. So if you like this, just like, comment, share, add a comment, anything you want me add in it, just let me know, and yeah, we'll do it. All right, I'm out.